Margaret sat in the emergency room at 2 a.m., her chest tight, her heart racing, her hands trembling. She was certain she was having a heart attack. She was 68 years old, lived alone in a quiet suburban home, and hadn't spoken to another person in 5 days. The doctor ran tests, EKG, blood work, chest x-rays. Her heart was fine. There was no blockage, no arrhythmia, no physical damage, but something was very wrong. The doctor sat down beside her and asked a question Margaret wasn't expecting. When was the last time you had a real conversation with someone? Margaret paused. She couldn't remember. Her husband had died 3 years ago. Her daughter lived 2 states away and called once a month. Her friends from church had slowly drifted after her husband's funeral. She spent her days watching television, doing crossword puzzles, and talking to no one. She thought she had adjusted to being alone. She thought she was fine. The doctor leaned forward and said something that shocked her. Margaret, your body is responding to loneliness the same way it would respond to a physical threat. What you're experiencing isn't just emotional, it's biological, and if we don't address it, it will shorten your life. Today on Wise Seniors, we're revealing what loneliness actually does to the body after 55 and why doctors are now calling social isolation one of the most dangerous health risks for aging adults. This isn't about sadness, this is about survival. And before we go further, make sure you subscribe to Wise Seniors so you never miss life-saving information designed to protect your health and independence. Loneliness is not just an emotion, it's a physical disease. Most people think loneliness is a feeling. Doctors now know it's much more than that. After age 55, chronic loneliness triggers a cascade of biological changes that damage nearly every system in the body. It increases inflammation, weakens the immune system, raises blood pressure, disrupts sleep, and accelerates cognitive decline. Studies show that prolonged social isolation has the same health impact as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of early death by 29%. It raises dementia risk by 50%. And unlike smoking, many seniors don't even realize they're suffering from it. Margaret didn't think she was lonely. She told herself she enjoyed the peace and quiet. She didn't need people constantly around her, but her body knew the truth. Humans are biologically wired for connection. When that connection disappears, the nervous system interprets it as danger. Stress hormones flood the bloodstream. The immune system weakens. The brain begins to change. What Margaret thought was adjustment was actually her body slowly breaking down. And as we continue, remember to subscribe to Wise Seniors for honest, protective wisdom that helps you recognize hidden risks before they become irreversible. 1. Loneliness triggers chronic inflammation. The first thing loneliness does to the body is increase inflammation. When humans are socially isolated, the immune system shifts into a defensive state. It produces more inflammatory markers, proteins like C-reactive protein and interleukin-6, because the body believes it's under threat. This made sense thousands of years ago when being alone meant vulnerability to predators or injury. But in modern life, this chronic inflammation becomes dangerous. Inflammation is the root cause of many age-related diseases: heart disease, diabetes, arthritis, Alzheimer's, and cancer. Margaret had been experiencing joint pain for 2 years. She thought it was just aging. Her doctor had run tests but found nothing definitive. What no one had asked her about was her social life. Research shows that lonely seniors have inflammation levels comparable to people with chronic diseases, even when they're otherwise healthy. The body is literally attacking itself because it perceives isolation as a survival threat. 2. Loneliness weakens the immune system. The immune system of a lonely person functions differently. Studies show that socially isolated seniors produce fewer antibodies and have weaker responses to vaccines. They get sick more often, recover more slowly, and are more vulnerable to infections like pneumonia and the flu. Margaret noticed she had been catching colds more frequently. Small cuts and scrapes took longer to heal. She felt tired all the time, even after a full night's sleep. Doctors explained that the body's immune system is designed to work in a social environment. When humans are connected to others, the immune system remains balanced. When isolation sets in, the body shifts into a hypervigilant state that actually suppresses its ability to fight off real threats. This is why nursing home residents who receive regular visitors recover faster from illnesses than those who are alone. Connection isn't just emotional support, it's immune support. And before we move on, take a moment to subscribe to Wise Seniors, because understanding these hidden connections can save your life. 3. Loneliness raises blood pressure and heart disease risk. Margaret's chest pain wasn't a heart attack, but her doctor warned her that if nothing changed, it could become one. Loneliness significantly increases blood pressure and heart disease risk. Studies show that socially isolated seniors have a 29% higher risk of heart attack and a 32% higher risk of stroke. The chronic stress of isolation keeps the cardiovascular system in a constant state of tension. When humans feel connected and supported, the nervous system relaxes. Heart rate slows, blood pressure stabilizes. But when seniors live alone with no meaningful interactions, the body stays in fight or flight mode. The heart works harder. Blood vessels constrict. Over time, this leads to hypertension, arterial damage, and heart disease. Margaret's blood pressure had been creeping up for months. Her doctor had suggested medication, but what she really needed was connection. Research shows that seniors with strong social ties have blood pressure levels comparable to people 10 years younger. Loneliness doesn't just hurt emotionally, it damages the heart physically. 4. Loneliness accelerates cognitive decline and dementia. One of the most frightening effects of loneliness is what it does to the brain. Margaret had been forgetting things. She'd walk into a room and forget why she was there. She'd repeat herself in conversations. When she had them, she assumed it was normal aging. Her doctor had a different explanation. Prolonged social isolation accelerates cognitive decline and dramatically increases the risk of dementia. Studies show that lonely seniors have a 50% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those with strong social connections. The brain, like the body, needs stimulation to stay healthy. Conversations, social interactions, and emotional connections activate neural pathways that keep the mind sharp. When those interactions disappear, the brain begins to atrophy. Loneliness also increases stress hormones like cortisol, which are toxic to brain cells and shrink the hippocampus, the area responsible for memory and learning. Margaret didn't realize that her isolation was literally changing her brain. Doctors stressed that this type of decline is preventable. Seniors who maintain regular social contact, even just phone calls or weekly gatherings, show significantly slower rates of cognitive decline. The brain needs people the same way it needs oxygen. And as we continue, Remember to subscribe to Wise Seniors for guidance that helps protect your mind and memory as you age. 5. Loneliness disrupts sleep and energy. Margaret had been struggling to sleep for over a year. She'd lie awake at night, her mind racing with worries and memories. When she finally fell asleep, it was restless and shallow. She'd wake up exhausted, spending the day in a fog of fatigue. She thought it was insomnia. Her doctor explained it was loneliness. Social isolation disrupts the body's natural sleep-wake cycle. Studies show that lonely people experience more fragmented sleep, take longer to fall asleep, and wake up more often during the night. This happens because the nervous system remains on high alert. The brain interprets isolation as danger, so it never fully relaxes. Sleep quality declines, and poor sleep creates a vicious cycle. Exhaustion leads to more isolation, which worsens sleep, which deepens loneliness. Margaret's fatigue wasn't laziness or aging. It was her body crying out for connection. Research shows that seniors with strong social bonds sleep an average of 30 minutes longer per night and report significantly better rest. Sleep isn't just about lying down, it's about feeling safe. And when humans feel alone, the brain never truly feels safe enough to rest deeply. 6. Loneliness increases depression, but not the way you think. When the doctor asked Margaret if she felt depressed, she said no, she wasn't crying, she didn't feel hopeless, she just felt empty. Doctors explained that depression in seniors often doesn't look like sadness. It looks like withdrawal, apathy, loss of interest, and physical complaints that have no clear cause. Margaret had stopped cooking real meals. She ate cereal for dinner. She stopped gardening, something she once loved. She watched hours of television, but couldn't tell you what she'd seen. This wasn't laziness, it was depression caused by isolation. Studies show that socially isolated seniors are twice as likely to experience depression compared to those with regular social contact. But many don't recognize it because they're not sad. They're numb. They've normalized the absence of joy. Margaret's body had stopped producing the neurochemicals, dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, that come from meaningful human connection. Without those chemicals, motivation disappears, energy fades, life becomes something to endure rather than enjoy. Before we move to the final point, take a moment to subscribe to Wise Seniors, because recognizing these patterns can help you or someone you love take action before it's too late. 7. Loneliness increases chronic pain. One of the most unexpected effects of loneliness is physical pain. Margaret had been experiencing unexplained aches, her back, her joints, her muscles. She'd been to doctors who found nothing structurally wrong. Pain medication didn't help. What she didn't know was that loneliness amplifies the brain's perception of pain. Research shows that socially isolated people experience pain more intensely and recover more slowly from injuries. This happens because loneliness increases sensitivity in the brain's pain processing centers. The same inflammation and stress hormones that damage the heart and immune system also heighten pain signals. Studies have found that lonely seniors are more likely to develop chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia, arthritis, and migraines, even when there's no clear physical cause. Margaret's pain wasn't imaginary, it was real, but the root cause wasn't physical injury, it was the absence of human connection. What makes this so dangerous is that loneliness hides. Margaret didn't think she was lonely because she had convinced herself she didn't need people. Many seniors do the same. They tell themselves they're independent or introverted or used to being alone. But the body doesn't lie. The symptoms show up as heart problems, memory issues, insomnia, pain, and fatigue. Doctors often treat these symptoms individually without addressing the underlying cause: isolation. What saved Margaret was that one doctor asked the right question. After her emergency room visit, Margaret made a decision. She called her daughter and admitted she was struggling. She joined a local senior centre. She started attending a weekly book club at the library. She volunteered at a food bank. The changes didn't happen overnight, but within 3 months, her chest pain disappeared. Her sleep improved, her memory sharpened, her inflammation markers dropped. She didn't need medication for her heart, she needed people. Loneliness after 55 is not a character flaw, it's a medical emergency. Society tells seniors to be strong, independent, and self-sufficient. But humans are not designed to live in isolation. Connection is not a luxury, it's a biological necessity. After 55, the consequences of loneliness become life-threatening. The body breaks down, the brain deteriorates, life expectancy shortens. But the good news is that this damage is reversible. Studies show that seniors who reconnect, even in small ways, see dramatic improvements in health within weeks. Margaret's story is not unique. Millions of seniors are suffering in silence, believing they're fine when their bodies are screaming for help. If you're reading this and you haven't had a meaningful conversation in days, your body is already responding. If you're watching hours of television to fill the silence, your brain is compensating. If you're experiencing unexplained pain, fatigue, or memory problems, isolation might be the hidden cause. Aging doesn't have to mean loneliness. Loneliness is not inevitable, but ignoring it is deadly. Reaching out is not weakness, it's survival. Margaret now says, "I thought I was protecting myself by staying alone. I didn't realize I was slowly disappearing." Connection saved her life, and it can save yours too. Thank you for spending this time with the wise seniors. If this message helped you understand what loneliness really does to the body, or if it gave you clarity on symptoms you've been experiencing, make sure you subscribe so we can continue sharing life-saving elderly wisdom that helps you live longer, healthier, and more connected in your later years.